My book of short stories I had published is now available. My name's Ira Allen Briggs. It's a picture of my mother on the front. She used to drive a Indian Scout. This photograph was taken in Sodus, New York during the wartime, around 42, 43, she said. That was a great pinup picture of my mom. That wasn't her bike, but she drove a Scout. Send a check or money order to Ira Briggs, 5230 Purcell Road, Hemlock, New York, 14466. It's going to cost you like $15. See down here, if you make it out, it says $14.95. Cheap. I got that from the Mad magazine. Used to do that. Send me $15. I'll send you a book. There's a picture of Robert Redford and me. I have a 1924 Atterbury truck that had a cameo appearance in the movie The Natural. So I have a story about that experience. Didn't make it out real good in the picture, but he's got a Sundance says Sundance on his T-shirt. I'll give you a little quick synopsis of what's in here. Some pictures. Everybody likes pictures, right? I like short stories because they're kind of crappy and move on to the next one. Of course, you'll find all my stories entertaining. Oh, there's a picture of me and my MG, a cross I brought back that was discarded from St. Michael's Mission over Hemlock Lake. Introduction, blah, blah, blah. Let's certainly get through this. Oh, a nice turtle story about a dead turtle I helped across the road. There's a nice Christmas story about my teddy bear when I was a kid. Oh, there's my Studebaker hawk. This story is dump day. My mother and I used to go to the local dump, and I used to bring home bicycle parts in that car. The lawsuit. That's a story about my mother. She used to take Sunday drives on her Indian Scout and was run off the road by a motorist. My father thought it would be a great opportunity to make a few bucks, and it didn't end well. There's a picture of my mother back in quite a looker in her day. There's my dad, his motorized bicycle he built, called the Road Traveled to Dad's first car. Here's a picture of my dad with his 23 Franklin, which is still in our family. Seabiscuit. It was fashionable back in World War II to name your assigned motorcycle a name of famous racehorses at the time. So you can't make it out, it says Seabiscuit on his gas tank. Story about when he was assigned to his motorcycle. There's a picture of me driving a replica of Seabiscuit that we restored in the local parade. Seabiscuit and the Louisiana Gator. That's my dad balancing on the front of the motorcycle with his army buddies. They were stationed down in Louisiana, and they pooled their money together, and there was a trail out the back side of the barracks. They weren't supposed to leave the barracks, but he would go into town and get some beer. They had a daredevil motorcyclist that was also in their unit, and he would teach my dad and his comrades stunts on their motorcycles. This daredevil motorcyclist used to drive run in the barrels with his motorcycle at local carnivals. There's another photo. It's my dad on the right. This guy's story is about Hugh Drain, local guy. His father had a hardware in Hemlock, New York. Only son. Was flying an airplane in New Guinea, missing in action, and they found him like 38 years later, his remains. It was a big deal in our small town. There's a picture of a plane that he piloted. The plaque our local from our local school. The story's about Mrs. Group and the ping pong ball. This group, I was a local paper boy in the 60s, and she had a habit of running in the back of her barn inside the back of her barn she entered, so I had to devise a way of preventing her from doing that. Dear me, beer me. This will meet our friends up in the Wayland, New York area, Springwater area. Get some beer and go riding up the back hills. As I condone drinking and driving. A story about a deer that we thought we hit that was dead and put it in the trunk, and it very much was alive. I think he was just unconscious. That was in my 67 Ford Fairlane, my second car. Let's see. A brief history of the Hemlock Demolition Derby. One of the girls from my past, real sweetheart, still friends with her, her son. History of pretty much how Demolition Derby got started in this region. There's a ticket booth I restored that came from Hemlock Fair. This one's called The Burial of Burnell Briggs. Our family always dug our own graves for our loved ones, mainly because our old family cemetery is kind of inaccessible by backhaul. So it was a good way of getting together in remembrance of a loved one. Burnell was a cool guy, Uncle Burnell. This one here, the infamous buggy race. That's my great-great-grandmother and her sister. Pretty good story, I feel. Involved a apple pie that they were carrying in their buggy. My son illustrated this. This story's called The Tragedy. Yeah, there's about one really sad story in my whole book. But it makes people more aware of children on bicycles, I guess I'll tell you. It's the Hemlock Baptist Church. Mrs. Barnard, my second grade teacher. She was involved in my story. And this drawing by my son. Electric iron, which is part of the story. This story's called The Shell Sign. There's this cantankerous individual lived in Rush, New York. He used to complain to the gas station about that sign. Every time it revolved, it would shine a light in his bedroom window and keep him awake at night. So he didn't do anything, so he took it upon himself to rectify the problem and took his shotgun and shot it up. What a great kid. No longer with us. Debbie Done Him Wrong. Yeah, a relationship that she kind of did poor judgment against him, I'd say. Here's my story about 6 days on the set of The Natural. As I said, my truck had a cameo appearance. I was on the set. Some French journalist there, and took some photographs of Redford by that merry-go-round. He said, I like this hurdy-gurdy thing over here. So I'm one of the few people I think that got an actual picture of Redford in that. To this day, I always wonder who that little boy is sitting on the merry-go-round. If you're out there, it was in the Buffalo area, this was filmed, please contact me. I wonder who that little boy is. There's Joe Don Baker, what a cool guy. And Robert Duvall was there. And all the extras got paid, I think it was like $35 a day, something like that. And they paid me $200 a day to use my truck. And there it is, the 1924 Edinburgh truck with my little brother and my date, Linda. She was a school teacher. Let's see, Lady in Studebaker and The Lady in White. It was a good movie. I liked this movie. They didn't really pay much for the use of your vehicle, so I let my mother. She had a great experience. She drove my Studebaker Hawk, and it's seen in the movie. She got to be an extra too, so that was the highlight of her life too. Oh, and she met this guy's name was he was in numerous movies and TV shows. Alex Rocco was in The Godfather. It's a picture with him. There we go. Freed from the Jaws of Death. There's a little a series of stories about the adventures of Uncle Jimmy, mountain man of the Finger Lakes. Let's see. The story's about him rescuing a feral dog that was in one of his muskrat traps. There's Uncle Jimmy there. Uncle Jimmy and the Indian Maiden, Onley. This story is about there was a peaceful tribe called the Munsees near Hemlock and Canice Lake, very much in love with the chief. The Megwees, this is folklore. The Megwees were an evil tribe, and they came and attacked her tribe and killed everybody but her. They took her as the prize. The story goes on to tell how she avenged the death of her tribe and her loved chief. my son's drawing of Onley's sister, Little Walking Eagle, which means too fat to fly. Tough decision. I guess it's kind of sad about Uncle Jimmy have to put the dog down that he saved from the jaws of death years later. There's Uncle Jimmy there in Big Rock. You have to read the story to learn about that one. Let's see, Uncle Jimmy's passing. This is how he dealt with his death, or his upcoming death. And Uncle Jimmy's journal. This story is about barn sales that barn sale he had, and didn't take kindly to people from Westchester County and city folk coming and haggling too much over a price of a collectible, and how he dealt with it. Didn't end well for some of the people that came shopping at the barn sale. The last word of the book is Elvis. What could that possibly mean? And here's I cut the sheriff's sign out of a door of a junk sheriff's car in the junkyard. That's part of the story. Okay, that's my synopsis of my short stories. Locally, they ran these stories. Our penny saver in this region was very flattered to have them put my stories in their paper. Very good. If you'd like to purchase one, $15. Ira Briggs, 5230 Purcell Road, Hemlock, New York, 14466. Occasionally, I would send one of my book out to celebrities or people I admired and see if I could get a response from them. And I would send them a letter like this that states, you won't be able to see it too good here. I hope you enjoy my book of short stories, true stories, and tall tales. I value your opinion. Check one of the following boxes and mail it in the envelope provided. And then I have check off cool or crappy. Then I got this little car stamp I paint that I color up. Now in this case, and then there's my self-addressed envelope up here. So I sent this one out to Jay Leno for the fun of it. Geez, I can't believe the guy. What a cool guy. Look, he sent it back. I said I enjoyed reading your book, especially the part about his father when they ordered his Galaxy, I think it was, and listened to some of my vehicles. And they asked him if he could he autograph a copy of my 63 Corvette registration. Just thought it'd be cool. So then when it came to mail, I was so excited. I can't point it out here. So look, he did. He signed his name, then he put his little caricature of his face up in that corner. And he also did down here too. See it? Oh, and I wrote, can't say I wrote, in the car I got Jay and Mavis. That's his wife's name. And what a cool celebrity. She stuck it out with him all these years. So that was so cool. Thank you, Jay, very much. Here's his book, Jay Leno. Now, Jay, I got this at I think it was a dollar store. I still haven't cleaned off the little bit of stickum up there. I was so excited to get this book, Jay. And it's a good reader. Easy to read. That's the way it should be. And what was the other thing? Oh, yeah, I can't get over geez, Jay, you got your little character twice on there. Unbelievable. That's got to be worth $50 a piece. All right, just had to do what a cool guy. In memory of my mother, Dot, the Christian clown, portions of the proceeds of this book will be donated to the Golisano Children's Center of Rochester, New York.